surgical abortions to be cremated or buried. More from ONN's Daniel Barnett.
The decision Wednesday marked the second time in a year that a Hamilton County judge has prevented the law from taking effect in a case brought by a group of clinics and the ACLU of Ohio. Parties argued the law imposes a funeral ritual on every patient regardless of religious or spiritual belief, removing their autonomy. The judge found it violates patients' rights to due process and equal protection, keeping it on hold until their case is heard. Daniel Barnett, ONN News.
The number of Ohioans hospitalized with COVID-19 continues to drop. The state health department says it's below 3,700 now, down more than 1,200 from a week ago. Early last month, the total was more than 6,700. There are still 500 people with COVID on ventilators in Ohio. For more state news, go to onnradio.com. I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Calls and conversations continue in less than 3 minutes as the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
My name's Teresa, and I'm a special educator in Lost Creek.
And my name is Megan, and I live in Marlinton. I'm a single mom with 4 amazing kids, and I work full-time at a nonprofit.
When I got COVID last fall, I was able to take paid leave. But if I got COVID now, we'd be choosing between paying bills and buying groceries.
Like many families in West Virginia, my struggle is finding childcare. Too many parents are facing impossible choices between working and caring for their kids.
Emergencies happen. If you are working hard at a job and get COVID and get sick, it shouldn't be financially devastating.
It's past time we invested in childcare so parents can work, providers are paid living wages, and kids get a strong start. Senator Manchin, my family is counting on you.
Senator Manchin, my family is counting on you too.
It's time that we ensure that our families and economy thrive.
It's time to pass Build Back Better.
Paid for by Moms Rising Together.
Are you traveling? Working a little bit too much? Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Now is the time to explore Toyota's wide range of all-wheel and four-wheel drive vehicles. Like the brand new Corolla Cross with available all-wheel drive and more cargo room than ever. Or go off-road in a rugged new 4Runner. Visit your Toyota dealer today. Or go online to buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Hurry, offers end February 28th. Toyota, let's go places.
Live and local talk is just around the corner. Stay right here on The Watchdog.
Hello, everyone. From The Watchdog, I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Periods of rain on and off through the day before it changes into a wintry mix. The daytime high near 41. Better chance of seeing that wintry mix after the sun goes down. Temperatures fall to about 27 for the low. We'll see a few snow showers around through the overnight for Thursday. Into your Friday, snow showers on and off with a daytime high near 27. Have yourself a great day, everyone, and be safe. From The Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Launch Control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
You're early.
Roger that.
It's Thursday.
Why even call it Thursday? Problem? We have pizza on Thursday.
Places, please. Quiet down.
Here's a complete disc jockey show with all the modern pace of today's exciting radio.
Good morning. Let's get started.
Seriously. Let's go.
It's showtime.
Conversations you care about with people you know. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe on WKKX and WVLY.
And it is 33 degrees. We're roaming right around freezing everywhere. 33 at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 32 degrees here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling. 32 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling. In the heart of the Ohio Valley, all of those temperatures are actual temperatures. The feels like temperature is about 24, 25, depending on where you are in the upper Ohio Valley. So roaming right around freezing. The predicted high for the day is about 38, although we may have hit that. And we're going to start working our way down tonight to about 23 overnight tonight. Winter Storm Landon. Winter Storm Landon is here. You heard in the ONN newscast and in the ABC newscast, it's hitting hard in some parts of the country. We, I think, are just looking at rain so far this morning. Brother Biff, you are my eyes and ears in the outside world. You've been out and now in. Just raining this morning so far?
All rain, that's it.
Yeah. Heavy rain, light rain. It was kind of heavy. Some point during the night I heard some heavy rain, but heavy rain, light rain, what are we looking at?
Light rain.
Light rain.
At least that's what it was when I got in, but it could be different out there now.
If any of you want to give me a quick weather update from wherever you might be, 304-214-1600 is the text line, and you can just tell me if it's raining. We've talked about it now for at least not quite a week, Biffy, but most of this week. This whole issue for us here in this area is going to be the timing of it. As I understand it, and it seems like we're still on schedule, it's going to be a rainy morning. We'll transition that rain to freezing rain, I think, sometime maybe beginning early afternoon, going into the late afternoon. After a while, we're going to see some significant ice on the ground. They're still saying a quarter inch of ice on the low end, could be higher than that, of ice on the high end. And so you're going to see some pretty slickery roads coming up later on. Then in the overnight hours, going to mix in some snow. And in the morning tomorrow, it'll be a wintry mix of freezing rain and ice and snow. Now, I guess the schools have decided, Biff, to take the road of caution. Most area schools have decided to call it quits, I guess, for today. And I saw a lot, and this is a hard one, Biff, a hard one, because if it gets as bad as we think it's going to get, with that heavy freezing rain and a quarter inch of ice, snow on top of it, I mean, it's going to be pretty bad out there. The problem is, you look outside right now, and it's a wet morning, And so I saw a lot of people on social media. Well, see, schools are closing already. We never do this when I was a kid. The old, I used to walk 16 miles uphill both ways in the snow over my head. And I get it. I get it. You look outside and you go, really? School's canceled? Why? And started canceling middle of the evening last night, Bill. I started getting alerts about school cancellations. And yet, if things work the way the forecast seems to be working, by the time kids will be going home, roads could be really treacherous. There have been some of the local law enforcement folks, particularly in eastern Ohio, who have been encouraging you to just stay in and stay off the roads. Even in his forecast this morning, Aaron Myler, in his forecast over the Big 7, says, do not leave the house if you can avoid it. But that, again, will come later in the day today. So, I don't know. I'm looking at my own personal schedule today, Biff. I'm here at the home studios right now, and it's just raining. I got to be down at the office around 10:30. Once I get off the air, I'm going to run down to the office for a while. Then I've got a meeting out in the world at 1 o'clock, another one at 4. I'm trying to figure out where during that day do I say, that's it, I'm going home. So, I don't know.
Well, and the thing with the schools, today's going to be a perfect day if you have remote learning to make today a remote learning day, or if you wanted to have maybe a half a day. I could see in some spots maybe sending the kids to school until about lunchtime, until noon, and then saying, hey, we're only going to go till noon today, so at least you get them in for a couple hours. But I mean, I would think I would have went that route. I would have either said, hey, we're going to make today a remote learning day, or we're going to go at least until lunchtime and then, send the kids home at noon, because from what Aaron had said this morning, and again, he'll be here in about a half hour with more, it looks like from about 2 o'clock on is when when the freezing rain may start actually sticking to the roads. Now, if we get it earlier before that, it might start sticking to the trees and the cars and everything. But I think from about 2 o'clock on is really when you really need to use caution.
And I think I never second guess schools. You know what? I would never want to make that call. The decision to cancel school, go on delay, what have you. I don't want the job. I do not want the job. And if I don't want it, I'm not going to criticize the people who do it. So I don't have a problem with them. I think almost everybody is canceled. Marshall County's doing remote, I think. I saw that. I could be wrong. You all know what your school system told me. I thought I saw Marshall County on remote. Anyway, but Biffy, I'm with you. I think where I'm making the judgment call last night, I would have said, I'm going to let school be normal, but I'm going to announce already that we'll send kids home at noon. We'll have a half day, and it'll be the first half of the day. Usually it's a 2-hour delay. I think I'd turn around and make it a 2-hour early home, because all the indications are we're going to be fine this morning. Just a lot of rain. It will turn to freezing rains, begin to get some freezing rain sometime this morning, but I think the real problems will be, and I'm sure that's why the schools are canceling. It'll be the ride home that they're worried about. So I'm with you, Biff. Were it me, and again, I'm not criticizing schools. By all means, they wanted to go ahead and cancel. I think it's better than not. But if it were me, I think I would have.
But this is one of those days where it's a perfect, where the remote learning actually will serve its purpose today.
We've talked this before. What happened to the remote learning? Remember, there were never going to be any snow days again. Remember that? We talked about that a lot. They've got this remote learning ability now. Everybody is used to it. The teachers know how to use it. The students know how to use it when necessary. So there will never be snow days again. From now on, if you can't get to school, it'll just be a remote learning day. And then I don't think different districts have done it differently. I want to be careful. But we haven't had too many districts going to remote learning. They're just going on to full-fledged school days or full-fledged snow days all this year. And you're right. This is could be a perfect remote learning day. So whatever happened to remote learning?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. And it differs, depending on where you live. But I still think, and again, I don't even know why they do this, but I think some districts still have, a certain amount of built-in snow days. Maybe I think 5 or 6 is the number that I keep hearing. And when you see stories about when they interview the superintendents, 5 or 6 seems to be the number. So I think they still have them built in. But even then, I mean, can't you say, okay, well, if you have these 5 or 6 specific ones for cancellations, can't you switch them over to remote learning days anyway?
Yep, and I just thought that was going to be the way of the world, that the kids would be on remote learning. I don't know how many snow days are built into any individual school district's system, but I can't help but think, Biffy, they're probably getting close to running out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so, which again shows the importance of remote learning days.
Mm-hmm. I think this is our 3rd week with significant numbers of snow days. First one was the big, heavy, multi-inch snowfall, which was 2 weekends ago. And then last weekend we had some significant weather. Now today, so they got to be running out of snow days, I would think. Again, I don't have the numbers in front of me. Maybe I'm wrong, but so they got to be starting to think about, now what are you going to do? The option always has been extend the school year and so on, but it would seem to me. But I know people don't like, when Teddy did remote learning, he had no problem and his school had no problem. They had it pretty well down pat. I hear a lot of people still complaining about remote learning. But to me, by now, they'd ought to have the system down pat. But hey, I'm just a guy on the radio, Biff. What do I know?
Yeah, what do we know?
7:20, 20 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Let me tell you what I do know. This is just a personal opinion. I want to go to Baby Dog. When Governor Justice first introduced the state to Baby Dog, it really was kind of cute. All right. Oh, here's his big old fat dog. It's Baby Dog. Don't y'all love Baby Dog? Baby Dog, everybody loves you. Oh, well, she didn't woof, but I love you, Baby Dog. Baby Dog gave that hound dog look at the camera. Oh, And it was just, okay, she was cute. And cuddly, and then came the Do It for Baby Dog contest, and I thought the contest itself was a waste of time. But people loved Baby Dog, and even people who despised Governor Justice would come to me and say, "Now, is there any way you can get me a picture with Baby Dog?" I mean, people love Baby Dog. So Baby Dog started out cute. And then I think, particularly when we get to the State of the State speech last week, where he brought Baby Dog into the House chambers and held up his butt, for everyone to see. It went from cute to crass. But I'm thinking, I'm wondering, do you feel this way? I'm beginning to think it's almost going to the creepy side of things now. It seems like he's got, what's the word I want to use? An unnatural attachment to that dog. Now, I'm not implying anything weird. I don't mean physical. It seems like he can't let the dog go. You know what I'm saying, Biff? And it's getting a little creepy.
I think it's become and some people won't like it, but I think it's become the unofficial mascot of the state.
Well, it has. It has. And again, in the beginning, Baby Dog was kind of cute. And then, now the unofficial mascot's butt is sticking out there, and that's not so good. Yesterday, the governor suggested that we should forget Punxsutawney Phil and let Baby Dog predict the weather. So now Baby Dog is going to be a weather forecaster as well. The governor said yesterday, by the way, who wrote this story? Is this a Johnny Lynch? I do not know who wrote this story, should be careful, but the story was published on Channel 7's website. Governor Jim Justice said that Baby Dog waddled into the bedroom. I love the verb there, waddled. Governor Justice said Baby Dog waddled into the bedroom and proclaimed spring is on its way. And again, what I find creepy? I think Justice probably thinks he heard Baby Dog say that. Hi, Baby Dog, good morning. You're here in my bedroom. What do you need? What's that you say? Oh, you saying you think weather's going to be good? Okay, I'll tell the people that in my meeting, Baby Dog. I just think it's gone into creepy land. Maybe it's just me. Baby Dog contradicted Punxsutawney Phil. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow and said 6 more weeks of winter. But the governor said yesterday, Phil is wrong. Phil is wrong. We're going to go with Baby Dog. Okay.
Do we know what?
And I had forgotten.
Do we know what Freddie said?
I thought I actually had that story someplace. Maybe I don't.
Because in whatever I know in Marshall County, whatever they had, which was kind of neat. I think
Wildcat Willie in Marshall County.
I think Willie even
Wildcat Wally.
Wally, yeah. I think he even said we're going to see 6 more weeks of winter too. So, if I just don't. Okay, you might not agree with Phil, but at least use the road from your own state. See what Freddie had to say.
Yeah. I mean, look, the fact that the governor brings Baby Dog up to compete with Punxsutawney Phil is not unusual. There are all kinds of other animals that are predicting the forecast on Groundhog Day. Punxsutawney Phil is the granddaddy groundhog of them all, of course, but, you know, I guess Baby Dog wants to predict it. I don't know. I watched it's just a tiny clip, and I was going to try and play it here on the air, but the clip I was able to come across was just too sketchy to play on the air. It was just didn't sound right. But I mean, it was just like, well, Baby Dog came into my bedroom and said we're gonna be fine. Let's go, Baby Dog. It's just weird. It's just weird. I mean, I know y'all love your dogs. We don't have dogs in our house. Did you ever have dogs, Biffy, when you were growing up?
Yeah, we had little ones. I mean, my mother's got one, and my sister has one. I mean, my mother's dog. I mean, it's getting kind of old, but I mean, he just lays around and does whatever. And my sister's dog, that thing just runs around like crazy. So I mean, they're still, they're still going.
Yeah, I understand that people get very attached to dogs. I never had a dog myself, allergic to it, so I never had a dog myself. Jason and Natalie, before they had a child, had a dog, and Nadia was a wonderful dog, and we would grand sit with her the way we grand sit Teddy. We would grand sit with Nadia. End of her life, she needed shots like every 6 hours, and actually, when Teddy was born, we had to go to Frederick. Well, we wanted to be there for, of course, the birth of our grandchild, but also while they were at the hospital, somebody had to be at the house giving the dog its shots. So I understand that attachment to dogs, and I cried when Nadia died. I get it. I mean, I do, but I don't know. I just think it's creepy. I just think Governor Justice is carrying this Baby Dog thing a little bit further than is normal. But that's just me. You want to respond to it, you can text me 304 304-214 pardon me. I'll get started this way this morning. 304-214-1600. 304-214-1600. Now, what are we going to do today? Big story, of course, continues to be the weather. Winter Storm Landon is here. We're under a winter storm warning. Most area schools playing it safe, calling it off. Timing seems to be everything. So what is the timing going to be? We've got Aaron coming up very shortly for the details on that. Reporter Stephen Adams is with us today. Take a look at how the fundraising is going in the McKinley-Mooney race. We follow that race very closely here. It's going to be the I think, premier race in the May primary. So we're going to continue to talk about that. And Stephen Adams has the numbers in the latest fundraising report. Who's raising the most money? Who has the most money? Who's spending the most money? We've got that coming up a little bit later on. New poll says overwhelming number of us think that COVID is something that we're just going to have to live with. Biff, you and I talked about this a couple of days ago. I think it's reaching the point where we're going to have to accept that in some version, COVID's going to be around. We're never going to be a COVID-free society. The question is turning now to how do we live with it? Got a little survey for you. I will share that with you a bit later on. And Biff, I want you and I to spend some time talking about this NFL lawsuit. You know the one I'm talking about? Former coach Flores is claiming that the NFL is blatantly and extensively racist. Filed a lawsuit on that. That's certainly generating an awful lot of heat. And I want to get into that a little bit later on.
And real quick, probably wouldn't have been brought to, and I know we'll get into it more later on, but probably wouldn't have been even brought to light if it weren't for Bill Belichick and the mistake that he made.
Well, we get to it. You're right. If you haven't heard the story, we'll talk about it more. But it's another reminder when you send an email, double check who you're sending it to.
Email, text message.
For example, or text message. I have this problem with you, Biff. I frequently, of course, communicate with our friend Brad McElhaney. And sometimes I get ready to send an email. Can you join me tomorrow morning on the radio show? And I type in Brad, and it pops up, and I hit the send button. Then I realize, oh crap, I sent that to Brad Leonard. The wrong Brad. I mean, I have done that on more than one occasion. You've gotten those where I have to immediately send you an email going, never mind, that was for McElhenney.
I just laugh.
We've all had those experiences, but holy cow, did Belichick screw up with his, right?
Probably. I don't think you could screw up any more than what he did.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But I want to get into the whole story about all the things that Flores is claiming. And honestly, Biff, you know what? To me, the racist claim is almost not the biggest claim. To me, the biggest claim is that he says he was encouraged, he said he would be paid for losing games. And I want to get into that too, because that's, something you always kind of in the back of your mind you wonder about, but he's bringing it out front. He's saying the quiet part out loud. So we'll take some time to get into that, Biff and I will. And you're welcome to comment on that on the phone lines or on the text line as well. And while we're on the subject of football, Super Bowl or sex, another one of those infamous polls I like to bring to you. The people have spoken. Oh, I'll just give you the story right now. Sex wins out. No, Super Bowl wins out. People would rather have the Super Bowl team win than have sex. That says something about society. It says something about society. So I've got all of this to offer you. What do you got to offer me? 304-214-1600. 304-214-1600. All right, we've set the stage, had a little baby dog talk, kind of talked about the weather. Let's do more than talk about it. Let's get the details of it. Aaron Myler is coming up next with the timetable we have to worry about on this forecast. But first, why don't we get some headlines from the Big Seven, WTRF TV. And is Bill with us today or not?
Bill is with us this morning.
Mr. DeFabio is slowly making his way back into the scheme of things with his morning reports. And hopefully in the near future, we'll be back on his afternoon show as well. But at least Bill DeFabio's got sports for us coming up. 7:32, 28 till the hour, right around freezing here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
Now it's time for your local news headlines from 7 News at...
I'm sorry.
It starts with charging your cell phone and creating a strategy. If your home is hit with an extended power outage, have a backup location. An Ohio man has been arraigned for multiple felony drug charges. Wheeling police say they attempted to stop a car on South Wabash Street on Wheeling Island. Police say the driver, 33-year-old Dallas Akoff, did not stop and sped away, leading police on a brief car chase. Wheeling police say they were able to stop the man and arrest him. During the search, police found multiple drugs, including cocaine and fentanyl. That was a look at your headlines. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and be safe out there with this rain and the possible ice.
Wednesday in college football, it was the National Recruiting Day, and Texas A&M, not Alabama. How about those Aggies? They built the highest recruiting class this year. As far as some local teams, Ohio State ranked 4th, West Virginia 35th, Penn State 6th, Pitt ranked 5th, not in the country, just in the ACC. Speaking of the ACC, the Pitt Panthers, one of the worst offensive teams in the nation, lost to Wake Forest 91-75. The Panthers never challenged Wake Forest, scoring 18 points in the first 4.5 minutes of that game. Just really, really bad. How about Jim Harbaugh? I expected to talk about him as the new head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Nah, he's not going to return to the NFL. After meeting Wednesday with the Vikings, Harbaugh decided to return to the University of Michigan and remain the head coach. Good news for Michigan football fans. Former Cleveland Browns head coach Hugh Jackson said money was available if the Browns tanked. Browns spokesman called the charge completely fabricated. You mean you had to pay a coach to tank when a team tanked almost every week? Because there were some bad Cleveland Brown teams a few years ago. Never a dull moment in the National Football League. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
Hey there, Dave Weekly here. Metro News Hotline presents what's trending in sports, music, movies, tech, television, and more from a Mountain State point of view. Renowned local and national guests pepper the daily lineup with authoritative insights and commentary on a wide variety of topics from West Virginia high school sports to the financial markets. Join the fun. Every day, Coop and I dip into irreverent discussions with calls, texts, tweets, the question of the day, and the always popular In or Out. Metro News Hotline, weekdays from 3 to 6 on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy all types of real estate completely as is. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Hey man, what can I get you?
Yeah, can I have 2 Coors Lights?
You got it. Hey Mike! I need 2 Coors Lights!
Sure thing. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time. Here you go.
Thanks, Mike. Doing a great job. All right, 2 ice-cold Coors Lights.
That's the coldest beer I've ever had.
Hey, they don't call it the world's most refreshing beer for nothing.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you really have the Rocky Mountains in your beer cooler?
You don't believe it? Check it out.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I can't believe it myself sometimes. I mean, this cooler is only 3 feet wide.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
You're never more than 30 minutes away from local and regional news with ABC News every hour. Plus coverage from Ohio, West Virginia, and WTRF-TV at 1/2 here on The Watchdog. The timeless sounds of polka live here. Join us 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays for the Polka Showcase with Rich Biella. Sunday mornings never sounded so good.
Live and local for the Ohio Valley, the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
President Biden yesterday moved about 3,000 troops around in the NATO area in order to be prepared to deal with any trouble in the Ukraine. At the same time, the U.S. carried out a counterterrorism raid in northwestern Syria early this morning. So we'll have details of all of that for you coming up from ABC at the top of the hour, and we may have a special update coming up before then. So we'll get to that in just a bit. But of course, the big thing everybody's talking about and everybody's wondering about and everybody's trying to figure out, because this is one of those things where timing is everything. It's Winter Storm Landon, which has hit the region, and the rain has begun here, but how bad is it going to be, and what do we have to watch out for, and what's the timing of it? Because timing is everything. Aaron Myler's going to have to walk us through this again today. We got a little preview yesterday. Aaron, is the timing still pretty much the same as we talked about yesterday for us?
I don't remember what I said yesterday because I've just been looking at weather so much. There's so much happening here. But, yeah, it's looking like we should see, we've seen rain all morning long so far. And it looks like most of the morning still will hold on to that. Some people up in the northern tip right now, so like East Liverpool, Weirton, even Caddo. It's like right along the line where Weirton and Caddo and Cambridge would all like intersect if you connected them. That's where we're seeing it just north of that, starting to transition to mix instead for this morning. Luckily for most of us, we still are sticking with the rain at the moment. And with that, the ground is still pretty warm. So we'll probably start to see some mix later this morning here. But even with that, it won't start to stick right away just because the ground's not cold yet. Well, I mean, it's cold, but like it's not cold enough yet for it to freeze onto. But so that's, not good, but it's better than it could be. And then I think the big thing I'm trying to hit home on one of people is when you're out and you see stuff, bridges and overpasses, I say this all the time, but they always freeze first because they're just over any raised surface like that, because they can have air on both sides to cool it down. That's going to freeze first before the actual road. So they're going from like in this region, we have so many bridges just interconnected with our roads on a regular basis. So just take it slow. Number one, don't leave. This is a day that I'm like, just stay home. Like, it's not worth the time. But if you have to leave, take it slow and then try to get back as early as you can before like the evening commute. Because I think by evening, people driving home after like a 9 to 5 is just going to get messy. Because this afternoon, it'll start to stick more. Or like later this morning, this afternoon, start to stick more, and then by the evening, I think it's going to start to get really bad out there. So I think we already have a lot of school closings and stuff across the region. I think we'll see pretty much everyone probably doing the same for tomorrow, because by tomorrow morning, it's going to be snow, but I think the roads just still, it's going to be cold, so everything's going to freeze, which I don't think will help. So I think we'll see a lot of delays and closings again tomorrow morning, and yeah.
I saw a lot of grumblers on social media last night when the schools began to cancel. And, I don't understand why we just got rain. Why they canceled school? I was able to go to school, and all it's going to be is rain, and it's not that big a deal. I think what schools are concerned about is they're not worried about kids getting to school today, right now. They're worried about what's going to happen when it's getting home time, which could be right smack dab in the midst of the freezing rain and the problems from that, right?
Exactly. That's what I was looking at this morning, too, because I saw so many. I had the same first reaction initially. I looked at it and I was like, why are there so many closings already? And I thought about it for like 3 seconds, and I was like, oh, it's because they don't want to have to worry about getting them home. Because, I mean, right now, rain's fine. It's just the second half of the day that you have to get them to school and back home from school. So that's where we're going to start seeing more issues. So I think that is why they're having all these delays and or cancellations. And I think that's why you'll probably see some tomorrow as well, but the opposite. Tomorrow's going to be more the morning, less the afternoon to worry about.
People, for some reason, often don't understand that ice is probably even a bigger problem than snow. When we hear about 3 inches of snow, everybody understands that. We have a picture in our head. Oh, there's a snowbank. Snow this deep. We can make snowmen. I get it. Roads were bad. We hear about ice, and we don't somehow get as concerned about it. And yet I think ice is even more dangerous most of the time.
Oh, it is. And I think that's why with this storm, everyone's been really trying to hit home less about amounts. Like even I've watched people, colleagues in Pittsburgh, everyone's been saying the same general thing of, I'm not giving you totals and everything quite as much in hitting that home because they've been focusing on the impact of that. Because if you hear you have 3 inches of snow maybe on top of like a quarter of an inch of ice, that doesn't sound that bad. You go like, okay, I can deal with that.
I can go through snow, yeah.
Yeah, but like any ice, you can't drive on. Like you can drive on snow maybe, but like you can't drive on a sheet of ice. Like you can't even walk on a sheet of ice, let alone drive on it. Like so that's the big issue. So like that's why we've all been really focused on impact, because it's like this is going to be an impactful event. Like it's going to cause issues for people trying to. Because like I just said, you can't drive. So I think that's the biggest priority with this system.
And if we're going to have this freezing rain, sleet, and ice later in the day, today and into the evening, it's not just roads that have a potential for a problem. That heavy ice can end up causing power problems by, coating the lines and pulling lines down and so on. Power companies, I think, are already preparing for power outages during the storm. So it's not just the roads you have to worry about. It's make sure your cell phones are charged up. Make sure that in the event that power gets out to your house, you have, some kind of game plan prepared, because this kind of ice can create power problems more than a heavy snow might in a general way.
Exactly. Yeah, we've spoken with AEP, and they said they already have plans to have crews out, and everything's already planned for people to get out and start monitoring stuff and taking care of it immediately. But this is it usually is when you start to see more power outages when you get up to half an inch of ice, and that's like the top of our range of ice totals. So like that could potentially happen, and we will definitely see some. Necessarily widespread for a lot of places, I'm not sure. The problem with power is just kind of will depend on which ones go down, but that's definitely a huge possibility. So I think that's especially like people who are already getting stuff in the northern pan, like I said, East Liverpool, Weirton, Cowdes, that area up there in New Philadelphia, who are already getting some freezing rain and whatnot. I think it'll be even bigger concern up there because it's starting earlier. But luckily for them, it'll also turn to snow earlier. But there's just so many problems. I think with that, the thing that I always did is we've been saying all morning, charge your phone. But also, like, if you have like a laptop or anything, charge that, because that could also like work as a backup battery if you have to plug your phone into that. That was like my trick when I was in college. I was like, well, if you charge your laptop as well, afterwards I can plug my phone into my laptop to recharge it if I need to charge it again. So, just be prepped.
That's
get the blankets out.
Really good point. And get the blankets out. Yeah, exactly. So let me just run this down again for folks. So it's raining right now. It's going to rain throughout the morning. At some point, it'll begin to turn to freezing rain. That could even begin in the morning. But we really begin to get concerned by afternoon when the freezing rain becomes a problem, creates problems on the road, maybe on the power lines. Then we mix in some snow by nighttime, and tomorrow morning could be even more snow mixed in as well. So rain this morning, freezing rain this afternoon, more of a wintry mix with snow late at night. All in all, good day to make some hot chocolate and stay home. Yeah, right?
You said it perfectly. Exactly. Today's, we're getting a little bit of everything because of, I was talking a bit earlier, it all just comes down to temperatures. Like that's basically all it is. We have all the moisture we need because of all the rain. It just comes down to where the cold air moves as to when it will switch into freezing rain and sleet and snow. So, yeah, today's the day that's just like, also just like, everyone likes to argue, but like, can we just all be like cautious for a day? Like, just in case.
Timing is everything, as I've said about 10 times this morning. Personally, when I'm down on the air here, I have to go downtown. I have to be downtown about 10:30. I think I'm okay there. Then I've got a 1 o'clock meeting out in the world. Now I've got to start paying closer attention to the weather. And then I've got a 4 o'clock meeting, which I think I'm not going to go to. So, I mean, it's just, every part of the day you're going to have to adjust, I think, based on what's happening out there. But Winter Storm Landon is making itself felt.
And I said this yesterday, but I'll say it again. Whenever, I know some people know, but like behind the scenes of the news industry, whenever we have this, everybody stays in a hotel so that we can get to work in the mornings. We don't have any issues if we can't make people, because I don't have an option to not be here. That's not a scenario. I have no option. But I have never once my entire time here stayed in the hotel. I don't live far away from the station. I never wanted to. I didn't care because I was like, I'm fine, I live close. This is the first time I'm staying somewhere else because I'm concerned about driving tomorrow morning. So just try to stay safe because it's probably not going to be good. It will not be good.
All right, well, we get through this whole thing probably tomorrow sometime. The winter storm warning ends sometime tomorrow.
10 o'clock?
Tomorrow afternoon, I think it is. Yeah. All right, and then walk me through the rest of the weekend. Once we're done with Winter Storm Landon, not a bad weekend after we get through it, correct?
Oh, yeah, not at all. It's actually going to be like partly cloudy, so we'll see some sunshine. Temperature, it's going to be cold. Saturday is going to be 26 for the high, so definitely cold again, and then still some sunshine on your day on Sunday as it warms up a little bit more into the upper 30s. So not too terrible after that. Light's the end of the tunnel is what I've been saying.
All right, but the tunnel, we're just about to enter the tunnel, so be aware. Rain this morning, freezing rain this afternoon, mixed in with snow. I'm going to make some hot chocolate, but I got to get out a couple of meetings. But I think I'm canceling some of my other meetings. So, Aaron, you will keep us informed, and Zach will keep us informed on the Big 7 with the Storm Tracker 7 app. People who need to know this kind of stuff can just keep an ear to the radio, keep an eye on the TV station, and even check it out with Storm Tracker 7. That's where all the info resides. Appreciate the hard work you and Zach both do, and I appreciate you being with us this morning, as always.
Thank you. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot. It's Aaron Myler from the Big 7, WTRF TV. So, rain this morning, begins to turn to freezing rain late this morning, becomes a problem of freezing rain by afternoon, and that rain will be leaving trails of ice into the evening hours, mixing with snow. So that's what you kind of have to worry about. Does that make sense, Biff? Does that sound like about right, do you think?
Yeah, that's what I have on my whiteboard here.
There you go. Okay. And we're right around freezing everywhere. 33 at the airport, 32 at the home studios, 32 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Do you have a break to do, Biffy?
We do have one more to get in.
Well, we had best take care of that, had we not? Let's do that now here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
It's the 15th annual WVU Medicine Wheeling Hospital OVAC Basketball Championships. OVAC schools will battle it out on the hardwoods for the conference crown. The girls' finals are this Saturday, February 5th, and the boys' finals will be played on February the 12th at Harrison Central High School. Go to ovac.org for game times and ticket information. Don't miss the WVU Medicine Wheeling Hospital OVAC Basketball Championships on February the 5th and 12th at Harrison Central High School. All games will air live on AM 1600 WKKX and the WatchdogNetwork.com. The OVAC would like to thank its official corporate partners: WVU Medicine Wheeling Hospital, Belmont College, Project Best, Bordis & Bordis, West Virginia Northern Community College, Huntington Bank, Health Management Solutions and Paramount Preferred Solutions, West Liberty University, and the Family Talk About Drinking campaign, brought to you by Anheuser-Busch Distributors of the Upper Ohio Valley.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together, we will get through this.
Now is the time to explore Toyota's wide range of all-wheel and four-wheel drive vehicles. Like the brand new Corolla Cross with available all-wheel drive and more cargo room than ever. Or go off-road in a rugged new 4Runner. Visit your Toyota dealer today. Or go online to buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Hurry, offers end February 28th. Toyota, let's go places.
If you want to hear it again, catch a Morning Show Rewind for some of the best bits and interviews from the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe. They're on the podcast page at watchdognetwork.com or search The Watchdog on Apple Podcasts.
Watch out! He could climb on his soapbox at any time. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Just enough time for a couple of interesting stories. These are the kind of little factual tidbits. Bob Ney always says, I taught him that you always put a few nuggets of information. Nuggets, Bob still uses that phrase. Nuggets of information on the radio show. Here's some nuggets of information to take with you. Biff, do you believe in time travel?
Yeah, I think I do.
Well, you better, because we all are time traveling right now. This very minute, every one of us is engaging in time travel. University of California researchers say the human brain works in such a way that it processes images 15 seconds behind reality. That what we are seeing in our brains right now happened 15 seconds ago. They call it the continuity field. It gives us more stability. The authors say if our brains were always updating in real time, if we were seeing things literally as they happen, it'll be a real jittery place, like a TV film that was kind of, juk, 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 out of phase or something. And so our brains, because they're amazing things, our brains smooth that out by taking the image, seeing what the world looks like right now, putting it into our brain, smoothing it out, and actually sending it to us 15 seconds later. So think about that. The world could have come to an end 15 seconds ago, and we don't know it yet. I find that amazing. Dr. Mauro Manassi, who's the lead author of this study, says our brain is like a time machine. It keeps us back in time. Wow. So time travel, is it possible? Not only possible, we literally are all time traveling every minute of the day. Everything that you are seeing. Biff, it's kind of like our
6 second delay.
6 second delay. That's right. Everything that is happening in our lives is on a delay in our brains. That to me is just absolutely amazing. All right, little tidbit for you. Coming up next hour, we'll have the Capitol Report. Biff and I are going to talk about this lawsuit against the NFL and some interesting things that are in there. And I also want to keep you up to speed on what's happening in Syria. ABC is covering that coming up next here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Roaming right around freezing everywhere in the Ohio Valley right now. It's raining right now. The rain will turn to some freezing rain later in the morning. The freezing rain becomes a problem later in the afternoon. Snow adds in by evening time. It's 8 o'clock.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
From ABC News.
All right, Biff, I want to talk about the NFL suit when we come back. Well, Capitol report first. Then you and I can do this Flores suit. See what you think about it, see what I think about it. We can talk about that a little bit. And then looks like they do have Syria status reports have now started. So I'll probably do one of those. We'll talk about the NFL thing. I'll take a break, and then we'll do the Syria status. And Steven's in at 8:40. That's the way of the hour. If all goes well. Yeah, I'm having a terrible. I'm striking out a lot. Tried Lisa, tried a couple of delegates, couldn't get anybody to come on today. I've got 4 or 5 requests out to some WVU professors, a couple of other professors that I use to comment on some things in the news, and I'm not getting much response back. I don't know if everybody's weathered in or mad at me. I don't I don't know, but so I've been, but we got enough, and I'm gonna spend some time on this lawsuit anyway. See what you think about it. We'll talk about it. Probably do some entertainment news later on too. Okay, and just be prepared. The status reports, they came up at 7:30. I think they're doing them every half hour, so by about 8:20, the 8 o'clock report should be up, and we'll do it then. Thank you. I'm going to run for some more coffee. I'll be back in a minute.